And recording.
Pull the thing back up. All right, welcome to, what is this, week 6? Build 2. Historically, build 2 and build 3 are some of our more productive builds, so we're looking forward to seeing what you guys do. We'll do the announcements really quick, but we do want to get into the presentations and the build. Just general things. We have another Monday off coming up in November, November 12th, so make sure you're aware of that. It's Veterans Day, or Veterans Day observed. Veterans Day is on the 11th, so we observe it on Monday. Upcoming events, PAX Unplugged 2018, November 30th. Don't think that interferes with Thanksgiving. I think Thanksgiving's the week before that. So make sure you're taking a look at those kind of things as well. Another thing that we tried to do last term, we'll kind of bring back here, is now that your builds are getting a little more mature and playable, I want to try to get them back out on the cafe machines. But one of the things on the cafe machines is we use the Windows 10 functionality to build these little menu boxes, so your icon becomes important. If you just leave it at default, it's just going to be either the Unreal icon or the Unity icon or something like that. So if you follow this link, it'll give you a guide on all kinds of different icon sizing and things that you have to do. It's just I think it'll use a JPEG image or a PNG image or something like that. There's nothing fancy. In the old days, you had to use like a .ico file and a whole bunch of stuff. In modern day operating systems, it's not that way anymore. So take a look at that. Basically, all you have to do is include it, I think, in the same directory, and you'll be fine. Let me know if you have any questions about it, but that link should give you pretty much everything you need to know. I think we are using probably the medium. I'll double check on that, on the icon sizes. I think that's most of it. Just as a general announcement, so nobody panics if this happens today, we are going to meet as a leads group and take a look at progress for each team, see where things are lacking, see where things are hurting, and potentially pick and move a person or two just to help some teams out. So be aware of that. We are a studio that has projects. We're not 9 separate studios. And sometimes, while it might be painful, it might not be the thing you want to do the most, in order to help out your teammates, which is everybody in this room, it is important to pitch in and help each other out. So I don't foresee it being a big, like I was threatening before the class started. I wanted to pull the leads off of every project and shuffle them around, but they told me I couldn't do that. So then I was going to pull the leads and make them make a team. And if they couldn't beat you guys, then everybody would fail, but they wouldn't let me do that either. So we'll go with this version. See, it could have been worse. Right? It could have been so much worse. And it might not even be permanent, right? It might be one of those things that, like, hey, for a sprint, you come over here, we need this component help, and stuff like that. So just be aware, I don't want anybody caught off guard when we come and talk to you, because you might get affected by that. We don't know yet. We will see. Oh, yeah, she actually highlighted it.
A box of Kleenex if you need it.
It is, we try our best to make the studio experience somewhat like real world, while still understanding we are an educational institution. We want you guys to do what you want to do. But if you work for a company and they need you to go work on something, you don't get to say no. Well, you can. Yeah. As you walk out the door and go look for another job. You're more than welcome to make that stand if you want to. So yeah, if I move you and you say no and just want to drop the class, we can have that conversation too. Hopefully it doesn't go to that. What else do we got? Play testing this afternoon. Make sure they are fun. One of the things I want you to think about as we do the presentations today is what part of the game looked fun. And if you can't pick it out, then we're going to have big, long talks with your leads. I think that covers most of the stuff.
One more thing. Say hello to your online contributors for 381. They're joining us this week. So give them a hand. Enjoy. Yeah.
We do have 4 new online contributors coming in, which might help alleviate some of our missing talent and helping the teams out as well. So the redistribution may not even be a huge thing. We will see. But that's what we're going to work on today.
All right, let's begin.
All right. Who's
Dawn of the
first?
Dreadnoughts.
Dawn of the Dreadnoughts. Oh, yay, we're still streaming. Break it the first one.
Hi everybody, my name is John. I'm the project lead on Dawn of the Dreadnoughts, and hopefully the project is here. Alright, so this past sprint it was just a lot more maintenance, a little bit more cleanup. One thing we really tried to focus is on some of the more gameplay issues that my project faced last semester. So one of the big things being that our grid that we had made actually wasn't attached to the ship, so the ship would fly away, and the grid would stay there. We've been working on fixing that. Another thing we've been working on fixing is making the scriptable objects, allowing us to create buildings and create units very rapidly. We've been working on that. We've been doing a little bit more with flight, and all in all just trying to take our two scenes, the green light scene and the play scene, and merge them into one. And this is what we have so far. So as you can see, the grid, the turret tracking, and the flight, just ignore that stuff over there, that's for later, is all working. As you can see, the Dreadnought does bank now a little bit. The ship's stats are now displayed as actual hit values and damage values. So, then another thing I'd like to showcase is art. My Dawn of the Dreadnoughts actually has made a lot of headway on art. As you can see down here, if it'll scroll faster, So these are the new models we're working with. We've got our some turret models that we're working on, a bunch of them, different little bays, because a spaceship has, you know, different little docking clamps and bays, this being the little repair bay that we've got. There's little mechanical arms in here that look like that, a little landing pad hanger, and a ship docking hanger. Some of the other models you'll see here is we've got the four different engine types that we've been looking at, and the shield generator model that we're working with, and its little particle effect. If you can, I can actually scroll in. So yeah, another thing that got done on this project was we nailed down the final design for the initial Dreadnought, which I'm hoping to showcase in the later sprints to come. But yeah, that's really it. So.
Hello everyone, my name is Dakota Stoner, lead for Gangs of Graffiti. So over this past sprint, we've just been working on a whole bunch of small tiny things that will help get Drift Tag up and going. A lot of behind the scenes, world building, working on a bunch of art. So a couple things that we've gotten is we got a very simple system to paint surfaces now. You're able to run out of ammo, pick more up. You can now lose health and die. We've also worked on getting UI working for the control points, so you know exactly where you need to go to find the control points to take them, and you're able to go up and tag them to claim them for your team. And once you have all of the areas tagged, all the buildings tagged in one location, you'll start getting more points over time, and after it reaches a certain amount of points, it'll whichever team has aside most points will win. And one other thing is we've also been working on implementing Photon in the project, so we're able to go in and join and connect to a server and all of that, so you're able to It's a lot better than what we originally had, and you're able to switch teams and spawn in. And these are just a couple of the gun models that have been worked on that we're going to be working on adding in. So, thank you.
All right, everybody. My name is Donald Shepis. I am the team lead for Gray Area, and this sprint we focused on a lot of our gameplay mechanics and getting those in, focusing on the mind reading, telekinesis, and waypoint systems. So here you can see we've just got this waypoint on this rock just for testing purposes, but you're able to see the waypoint no matter where you are through objects and whatnot. And the other special thing about this rock, and this is why this one's marked so we don't forget which one it is, I can, if I aim at it, I can pick it up with telekinesis, I can move it around. This is useful for changing lines of sight and hiding from the guys as they patrol, and then also I can chuck it. So let me get around. So we're still working on we've not refixed, but we've re-recorded our walk cycle animations. The speed of the gray is determined by root motion, so until we get in those new walking animations, it's going to be it's more work than it is worth for trying to get the ability or the gray to move faster. But here you can see I've locked onto this enemy and I've turned off his killing me, so that way I can actually do this, and then I can read his mind, and so we're able to get a bunch of different blurbs, and we've also got the beginning set up for our influence system to cause the NPC states to change. Right now they're all just sitting in their default state, but once we have the influences in, you'll be able to use the different things that you read from the NPC to determine what type of personality type they are. And so you use that to say, you might take two of these patrolling NPCs, and if you put them both in an aggressive state, because they're aggressive NPCs, they'll fight one another, and so they will stay in a location and not bother you as you're trying to sneak by. And so that's kind of the core gameplay for our game. It's a little harder to show off since I've turned off these guys' ability to kill us, but you're actually able to hide in the shadows. So if this guy hadn't already spotted me and I was here in the shadows, we've got volume set up so that way the enemy will not notice as the gray goes past. And we're going to be augmenting that with the crouch state for stealth, as well as working with the influence system to make it so that the NPCs will not just always be walking around on their same paths. And so we will have more to show you, but this is kind of the first tidbits of our gameplay. Thank you.
Oh, God. Hello, I'm James Fisher, project lead for Life or Death. What we worked on heavy this sprint was AI, and with that we're able to get the AI to where now it's at a state to where it can roll, block, attack, parry. It's a little wonky, but he's also doing it based off like decisions. So like when he does roll or when he goes to block or anything, hold on, it'll be based off of like how you're swinging, whether your swing's like a vertical, horizontal, things like that. Hold on, let me get this guy to do something other than just get hit. Hold on. It's also based off like a decision thing, so like it's not just everything's phoned in, so it's not that he'll parry or block or roll every time. It's based off decisions and weights and stuff like that. So try to do that so it's a little more realistic, but right now the weights are set a little too low. Hold on. He's bound to do it eventually. There we go. So that's a roll. You also have parry logic and stuff like that, but that was the biggest part that, well, see, there goes the parry. That was the biggest part that we worked on this sprint, and that's pretty much everything. Thank you for your time.
Why are you so tall?
Streaming, recording. Yay! Stuff and things.
We're back.
Okay. Hi everyone, I'm Regis Jerry. I am the lead for Ludus of the Arcane. We ended up getting a lot done in a lot of places, so I'm going to try to run through it as fast as possible. That way I can show off everything without running up too much time. It's a little bit better when we actually have some sound. There we go. Okay, so we removed the level selection, so now the level selection is inside of the hub. We also added in new tutorials. The tutorials that were in there, they were 3D text so you could see them through walls. We replaced that with actual signs now, and we also added in a new one for being able to pick up and throw objects. So now players, if they see these signs and run around looking for them, they'll be able to learn how to do all the different mechanics. One of the new tutorials that we added into the hub world, other than also changing up the color scheme so that it wasn't all just pure white and kind of blinding at certain times, is we added in a living door room tutorial. So this will teach you all the different mechanics for how the living doors work and how to navigate through the first level, which is the asylum. And then, as I mentioned, the level selection is now done through an actual terminal here. So now you actually go to the terminal and then you have to go get on the helicopter. We also added a different sound effect for the gun. This is in preparation for us to replace the gun with something that looks a little bit more futuristic. We did a lot of small changes to mechanics in the asylum, that's just numbers. But Ancient Egypt has a new enemy type, and then here's a little bug that we found with that. So we have little dust storms now that are actually masks to hide our actual mummy enemy for now, and he now appears and disappears based off of a distance, so you never know which dust storm is an enemy and which one is not unless you throw objects into it. This is just to kind of promote a little bit of anxiety, because a player runs up, runs around a corner and then immediately just sees a dust storm. He might not know immediately whether or not it is an enemy or not. Then let's just return back to the hub world real fast. We are adding one more level that has finished its white box. That is going to be Ancient Greece. And then we also have Feudal Japan. We got in a full gameplay loop there. We have the same thing for Greece, but we actually have a lot of the models in, and we're just working to get the finishing touches for the texturing done with them. And then Japan will be pretty close to ready to play. We added in a couple of different types of puzzles for the players to be able to enjoy. The personality type for Japan is playful, so we're trying to find different ways that you have to play with the level in order to get through it. One of which is going to involve this dragon. He's supposed to be holding an orb, so at the beginning you'll see the orb go flying off, and you're supposed to play with the spirits of this level in order to get things like the hidden doors, which are now currently just white boxes green, to actually open up, or also like have the doors of the main temple open up. So you might not be able to beat the game unless you actually are trying to have fun with the level. Thank you for your time. I have the patch notes, but I didn't want to show them off on it's build day.
He's got patch notes. That's standard. What do you think?
Hello, my name is Marcos Escobar, and I am the lead for Rift Wars. This week we got a lot of background stuff finished with the current build, and as well as finally got some artwork for the cards. These are the current two pieces that are, one is finished and one is still being worked on. But currently we have a good process on how we are working on the artwork for the cards of the game. For this sprint, we were working on getting a deck working, as well as being able to archive the different card types that we have. Right now we only have the unit card deck, which when you click on it will spawn in these cards. So there's a complete list of different cards with different stats and values associated with them. So we can just draw them from the archive and at random, and players will get random cards each time. And as before, the unique that's what I'm looking for. Numbers associated with each card still affect one another, so the life and attack will change based on different things. So this one has, okay, that was a little too fast. That one was destroyed. So this one has 10 health, this one has 5 attack, now it has 5 health. And that's really it for this sprint. Thank you.
Hello everybody, I'm the project lead for SiegeBots. This past sprint we've kind of been working on a couple different things, not all of which are ready to be shown, but the main focus of this sprint was we're reworking the AI editor again to be like easier to use and easier to access. So the primary thing is you've noticed that each of these are different. First one is different movement types. So instead of creating a bot with like different movement parts and then selecting each part and how it moves and things like that, you can just select a general movement type, and your bot will perform that movement type while it's in that state. The same thing applies to the weapons, which I should probably let me just make a bot with some weapons real quick. It's close enough. So you notice, gotta adjust the UI, but each weapon has a different targeting parameter, so that you can have different weapons target different types of bots, like the nearest bot or the bot with the lowest health. And you can just have a general overall targeting parameter that applies to all weapons or none at all. Or so that each one can be individual, or they can all use the same thing. And this part over here on the right is the same thing as basically what was there before, with the different utility pieces. Each utility piece has functions that might have parameters, and you can fill out that information there for the more specific AI aspects of your bot. And that's primarily what we've been working on, so thank you.
See my face, I'm not frozen. Good morning, everybody. Alright, so my name is Tyler Cook, Project Elephants, aka the Junior Achievement Game. So this week, we have mostly been working on actually getting our build up and running. So last week it was all pre-production and figuring out actually what this game is going to be, since we had nothing coming in. So it was mostly back-end stuff, getting everything up and running, our economic system, all of the taxes. And so what you see here is the player inventory and the money that they have. So right now the player has nothing. They've got 50 currency. So let's go do some shopping. Alright, so we've gotten a lot of art in. So you've got some dresses, you've got some bonnets, you've got some items here that you can pick up. So once you pick up an item, it goes to your inventory. So I've got 50, so I'm going to grab a magic shield. Maybe not. Taxes! Oh man. So I've only got 50, so I can't buy it because taxes. So, alright. Now my currency is 5. So when I want to go check out, I have oh my gosh, 5% in taxes. So 50% in taxes. I can't do math this morning. And so I can't buy anything that's $50 or 50 currency. Get rid of it, my currency's back to 50. The shop makes money if you buy something, and it subtracts from you. So buy a few more things, go back, total it up, and again, it works. So get rid of that stuff, come back, buy a few more things, and that kind of just keeps going like that. Buy a hat, got a few more dollars, but I don't want to spend it. So this is really the basics of what we've got so far. Again, a lot of it was back-end work and getting stuff ready for what we're going to do in the future. We just wanted to get the economic system up and running. Get that shop up, get the taxes up, make sure that we've got everything in place to move forward. And so that's where we're at right now. We've got some UI, we've got some art, we've got all the programming on the back end to start moving forward with. And we're ready to keep going. We're ready to keep moving forward. So that is what we've got this week.
All right. Cool, it's working. All right, good morning, everyone. My name is Rocky Vargas. I'm the project lead for Communication Meltdown made by Monsterval Entertainment. So during this sprint, we realized just how real and just how fantastic it is to hear the phrase, it's not a bug, it's a feature. Because during this sprint, we had a couple bugs that are now features. We fixed the ones that are game breaking, but it's just so much fun that we've aptly named it the Thanos build, which I'll show you later in the video. We know how to fix all these bugs. They're not a problem to fix. It's just the fact that they're so much fun and they just change up the game, and yeah, we just want to keep it for a little while. All right. Wow. Excellent. No, I remember why. It's because I renamed it. You gotta wait, Derek. Patience. It's a feature. Alright, so Monsterval Entertainment. So the first thing you're gonna notice is, you might notice in previous sprints, our interactables were a lot darker than the surroundings. That's because we fixed that now, basically. So everything is a lot more vibrant now. We fixed the problem with the lighting issues. So everything looks a lot more different, looks a lot better. And we've actually had to change the design layout of our break room. So you're gonna see the decontamination room door right up there, because before you would have to press the F1 key in order to queue up for the game. And we all know it's a big no-no to break immersion in virtual reality. So we finally made a keycard reader that you could queue up as a boss or employee, which I'll show you in just a little while. Before I continue, you're going to hear actual gameplay from my team playing this game. You're going to hear a lot of voices. You're going to hear a lot of... no, not cursing. I edited this video. That's all good. PG-13. But it should be fine. Just keep in mind that that is going to be a thing. So the first thing you'll notice is we have a radio menu now. So on your left hand, you're actually going to have your options menu. You're going to have your quit. You're going to have your boss card and your employee card. So the red card is up on the top where you can queue up as a boss. And then the left card is the employee card. We have resolution, but Mike is the one who did the resolution, so yeah. And yeah, you can quit, but you probably shouldn't. So these are our hands. We actually got the hands working for multiplayer. It's we have grabbing animations for them now. It's really cool. And these are the key cards. So this is one of the glitches I was talking about. So Shepard accidentally figured out how to create zero gravity in virtual reality. And this honestly derailed us for a little bit. I literally wanted one of my artists to make me a ninja star because it was just so fun. I wanted to be a ninja. But, you know, we had to get back to actual work. So right now you can spawn infinite amount. We know exactly how to fix all these bugs, like I stated. It's just a lot of fun being able to play around like this inside of virtual reality. And of course the shaking hands, because they're weird. That's just to showcase the grabbing animations work in the multiplayer view. And the cards do collide with one another, so that's a thing. Okay. There's no volume. Alright, so this is the key card reader. So if you grab your blue card, you can queue up as an employee. If you grab your red card, you can queue up as a boss itself.
Excuse me, sir. Excuse me, sir.
And the light turns green if you queue up properly.
I no longer have a use for you. Oh.
Okay, Victoria actually forgot she's in virtual reality, so she thought she was going to fall off on that one. And this is our decontamination room. So there's actually smoke effects now that's showing you're actually being decontaminated. And then in a certain amount of time, the doors open. Shh, Andrew. It's going to open up, and then you could go through the hallways. And then I should probably
Dude,
go
I'll take a card.
Hey, you want
My team is goofy,
You want a
but
card?
it's honestly a lot more fun that way. We will disable the key cards once you get inside the actual reactor. Like I said, it's just a lot more fun for testing purposes to be able to do all sorts of different things. And this is the Thanos build. So Josh accidentally created hands that were so powerful you could rip apart the entire game you're playing in. So everything that's not meant to be interactable, everything that's not meant to be picked up is now interactable. You can literally, this is game breaking as hell, but it's so funny. And this is another thing that almost derailed us because I wanted someone to make me Thanos gloves so that we could literally just have a Thanos actual build. I honestly want to put this as a game mode on release because it's honestly a lot of fun. Andrew was obsessed with the parrot, and that bird actually is animated and everything.
On the floor, I swear. I'm just cleaning up after myself.
I have the power of anime and God on my side.
My team's goofy, like I said. Victoria's really proud of her art.
Painting. So nice.
But with great power comes great repercussions. So you can fall in this game build, which is terrible for VR. It's super disorienting. It's bad. But it's yeah.
Oh no.
I didn't even know how this one happened. But like I said, this was like a really big priority fix, so we have fixed it. It is like an extra thing. But yeah, that's pretty much our sprint.
Morning everyone, my name is Nathaniel White and I am team lead for the ACS production studios. So this sprint we really focused on, we sort of wanted to get it to a point where you can just throw things together and really get a game structure. So we wanted to focus more on the back end. We completely rewrote and restructured our code and then rewrote and restructured our code again. We switched from using spreadsheets to using an actual, we were testing a free online service for managing our sprints and our backlogs, and then we switched back to using our spreadsheets. So it was a lot of up and downs, but we've really sort of worked out the kinks with the back end. It's louder than I'd like it to be. So we have some music in the background. As you can see, we've gotten basic selection working. So that's one thing we did accomplish for the sprint. Unit movement works. It jumps, obviously they're not meant to do that. We have pathfinding working in the background. We just have to get it working with the event systems we've set up. So all in all, we've got a lot of the back end, and I feel from here on out we can start working on more of the mechanics of the game. And yeah, thank you.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to clean that one out.
All right, we made it through. Only two. Another round of applause for everybody. Great sprint here. Did well. All right, 1 o'clock leads meeting up in 205, 206. Anything more from you, Derek?
No, good job. Again, testing this afternoon. Make sure for leads meeting, we're going to discuss moving people or making sure we support each other. Also, you may want to talk to your teams before then, because we will probably also do our just kind of general debrief on how all the projects went and the builds looked and things like that, to help you kind of steer towards the next build on what you should be accomplishing. So, be thinking about those things for the meeting.
All right, professors, anything to add?
No.
Are you good? Any questions about today? Fantastic. Go make games.